Make the ground shake.
What's going on, guys? My name is Renegade. Today we're here to ask and answer the question, how good is Paladin class in Adventure Quest Worlds? So Paladin class is available for having rank 5 healer class and rank 5 warrior class, so you can have the rare or non-rare version. And for having rank 10 of those two classes, I think I might have said 5, I mean rank 10 of those two classes, and then rank 5 good. A reputation, that is. If you have all of those, then you can purchase the class from somewhere. I can't remember where you purchase it from, but I believe you can purchase it from Artix at some place. I don't know where though. But yeah, that's how you obtain the class. You will then, I suggest enhancing it with luck. Luck seems to be the best option, as there are a mixture of magical and physical abilities. And as you can see here in the stats, you can sort of see just by looking that you're really going to benefit from having both strength and intellect. And luck doesn't necessarily have as much strength, but it does have a good amount of intellect, and it does buff those. Actually, would you look at that? It's got even. I did not know that. Alright, so it's actually going to be giving you a benefit of both, and I should have seen that by the attack power and the spell power being the same. Never mind, I do suggest that you use a unstable weapon for this class. It does benefit quite highly from having that. It will deal quite a bit more damage based on your weapon range, and for some reason, I seem to be always getting really, like, 90% of the time higher crits with unstable weapons than I do with non-unstable weapons, so there you go. Yeah, luck seems to be benefiting the crits quite a bit, and as you can see here, you gain mana when you get a crit, and this class does have a little bit of a mana issue, but, you know, a mana vamp will probably help with that. But yeah, so for your auto attack, you saw normal auto attack. I should probably talk about this passives first. There isn't a rank 10 passive on this class, but there are rank 4 passives. So rank 4 passives are endurance increased by 15%, and your crit chance is going to be increased by 15% as well. So that's always helpful for mana. Your first ability here is called Abolish. It consumes 10 mana and has a 3-second cooldown. It is a physical and magical ability. A quick strike dealing weapon damage plus magical damage also reduces all damage taken by 7% for 10 seconds, stacks up to 10 times. So as you can see here, it's not really that much damage, honestly. I wouldn't, well, it can hit quite a bit of damage actually. The 2k isn't that bad, but compared to the other abilities in the class, it's not too high of damage really. But yeah, the reason why I'm doing a video on this class, by the way, is because it was recently buffed by Pisces, a class designer. He buffed the class to make it quite a bit better. He just increased like the weapon damage percentages and the magical damage percentages on a lot of these abilities here, and buffed quite a couple of other things as well. Yeah, it's just a whole bunch better. It's actually really viable as a farming class now. This ability here is called Healing Word. It consumes 25 mana and it has a 6-second cooldown. It is a physical / magical ability. Heals yourself and 2 friendly targets for a moderate amount. So as you can see here, it's about 1,000 non-crit, and if you crit with the heal, then it will generally heal about 2.5k to 3k. It just healed 3.2k there. This move here is called Exercise, or Exorcise, however you want to pronounce that. It's not actually spelled like the standard way of spelling exercise, so you know. It consumes 15 mana, it has a 6-second cooldown, it is a magical based ability. A light-based ranged attack, high damage against undead enemies, hits up to 3 targets. And that's why I'm actually here at /join pirates and not at Shadow Realm like I usually would be, to show you guys this ability here. So it deals a very, very large amount of damage, especially against these guys here. As you can see, when it crits, it hits about 7k. I'll go over to this room here so I can get a cleaner look at the crits, without them all being bunched together. See if I can get another look at it. Yeah, so you can see there that that crit 6.5k on that side, and I can't remember what it crit on the other side. That's 9k there, which is quite good. And you don't really crit that much if you don't have an unstable weapon, by the way, so I'll show you quickly what it's like with a stable weapon. It does still crits quite well, it just doesn't crit anywhere near as close to that. So as you can see there, it's about 7k. So it crits about 9k if you have a unstable weapon, which is pretty good. But it can crit a bit lower sometimes. But yeah, as you can see, it is critting quite a bit lower than it would be normally. So an unstable weapon is, you might find it better, you might find it worse, depends on what you want. This weapon is probably a little bit too unstable, so I'd recommend something like just a normal-ish weapon. I'm trying to find one that's like a little bit more unstable. That's obviously not going to be ideal. Yeah, I don't know. What you can do as well, especially against undead monsters, you can use the Blinding Light of Destiny, and I'll quickly grab that out just for a bit of fun to show you guys this ability with the Blinding Light of Destiny. If I go down to, where is it? It'll be in here somewhere. Where are my axes? There we go. I just went past them. There we go. Blinding Light of Destiny. It is enhanced with Wizard. I'll quickly enhance that with Luck. Down here. Alright. There we go. Okay. So we'll grab this weapon out, equip that, because this weapon actually has extra damage against undead as well. And we'll see. Yeah, so we're getting really, really good crits with this class. And that's without any like spiral carve or anything like that as well. This weapon is fairly stable, I believe, just by default, and then it does the extra damage to undead. So I mean, it actually depends on what you want. Honestly, I think this ability here does a lot more damage when you've got an unstable weapon, but this ability here, the exercise ability, does a fairly, it varies quite a bit. Generally, when you get crits that high, they really the difference between 6k and 7k doesn't really matter as long as you're hitting in that sort of ballpark. And so it's really not a big issue, and those 10k crits are often quite useful. But yeah, so your last ability here is called Blinding Light. It consumes 30 mana, it has a 15-second cooldown. It's a physical/magical ability, and it says deals damage to all enemies in range and applies blinded, reducing enemy haste by 50% for 16 seconds rather. So as you can see here, it deals about 2k damage crit, I think it's around 1k non-crit, probably a bit less than that honestly. And it reduces their haste, so that's always useful, I suppose. It's probably more of a useful thing to have in Bloodrat Brawl or something like that, honestly. Which I can see this class working for, although as I said many times before, it doesn't. It's not really my thing. Bloodrat Brawl, I don't really PvP that much at all. But yeah, so that was actually the effect of this class when fighting undead monsters. But I'll show you in Shadow Realm really quick here, so you guys can have an idea of what it's like against non-undead monsters. As you can see here, it's about 2k crits with this ability, which is still quite decent. When you're using it in a non-undead situation, I do actually suggest use a stable weapon. It really does vary quite a bit, and so I mean 3k is pretty good, and it does seem to be critting marginally higher a lot of the time, but then a lot of the time it's lower. So I mean, it depends on how bad those low crits are for you. It really does depend on quite a few things with this class, but generally those high crits are what I like to have, but that's honestly my personal preference. As you can see here, if I go out and grab this weapon here and I use this, then it's going to hit 2.8k basically guaranteed when it crits. So yeah, that's a thing. You might prefer the 2.8k, you might prefer the slightly higher. I personally prefer the slightly higher, especially against undead monsters, but that's just my personal preference. It really is up to you. Anyway, that about it for the guide, guys. If I were to recommend a couple of ways of using this class, I'd recommend that you keep this ability applied as much as possible. It's gonna really help you not as to not needing this here, your heal ability. Your heal ability is what's gonna drain a lot of your mana. If you're fighting a situation like this and then you keep spamming your heal, you're gonna notice that your mana is gonna be drained quite a bit. Don't spam this last ability either. Only really use it if you need a little bit of extra damage to finish off a battle, and then you can just rest or whatever, especially if you're farming. This class is honestly really useful for a lot of situations. I can see this working as a boss fighting class. If you, for example, if you want to be a healer in a situation where you're fighting a boss, but you don't necessarily want to use healer because it can't really deal that much damage, so I'd probably suggest using this class instead. Enhancing this class with healer enhancements, I believe, let me just quickly go over here to healer enhancements. I believe you will have some luck with your heal ability. Let me just confirm that you will heal higher than usual. I'll use the Crystal Phoenix Blade as my healer enhanced weapon, I suppose. Where's the helm? Up here. Alright. Use that. But I'm not even going to keep that. I should probably just apply it to this. In my cape. Let's get just a random cape. Those will do, I suppose. And I'll leave the armor as luck. Alright, so let's just test this heal really quickly before we end the video. Nully Claws morph, and we've got the Prismatic Double Wings. Alright, so we'll check the heal. Wow, that's surprising. Okay, it's really not critting anywhere near as high as it should be. Is that because of my weapon range? I think it could be because of my weapon range. I'll just quickly check that once more. I believe this weapon is an unstable weapon actually, so I don't want to unenhance that really. I suppose that'll do. The mirror deception stuff. Alright, we'll grab this out and we'll try it once more. Although I do think I know what the result of this is going to be. What was that? It's about 900 still. Yeah, so it isn't actually affected by your enhancements then. Cool. Alright, well, yeah, that's about it for the video, guys. If you guys did enjoy the video, then by all means leave a like. If you do want to see any more of this sort of content on my channel, then subscribe to my channel. You can look at my channel schedule in the description down below if you want to see anything to do with when I upload and all that kind of stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.